Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Season 1 of Calling an Audible, a podcast recorded here at UMC with a focus on local, regional, and national news and sports. My name's Zach Greenberg. I'm a junior on the football team here. I'm with my co-host, Greg Johnson, on the baseball team, Cassidy Klapaki on the softball team, Matt Nelson, also on the baseball team, and Will Cole on the football team. Welcome to our guests today, Matt and Will. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Good morning, y'all.
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Cassidy, how you doing today?
Just great.
Gregory?
It's a peachy morning.
So today on Calling an Audible, we're going to first talk about the first round of the NBA playoffs. For the playoffs, we have the Thunder leading the Jazz 3-2. The Jazz leading the Thunder 3-2. The Rockets beat the Timberwolves 4-1 in their series. The Bucks just tied up their series with the Celtics at 3 last night with a win. The Raptors are up on the Wizards 3-2, and the Cavs are up on the Pacers 3-2. So what do we think about these series? Bucks and Celtics. We'll start there since they had a game last night. Will, your thoughts?
I think, clearly the Celtics are missing a few key stars on their team, but I think Giannis might pull through for the Bucks.
So you have the 7 seed beating the 2 seed in this one?
Yeah, but we all know it's because of injury, folks. Like it's pretty clear. The Celtics would be better
with Kyrie.
If Irving and Hayward weren't out, you're gonna think that the Bucks have no chance whatsoever.
Oh, no chance. I mean, they would probably take it 6, I would say, but
not 7 and win the series.
No, definitely not.
Matt?
I love the Freak. I think they're going to win. With or without Kyrie. Doesn't matter.
Well, I actually got the privilege of going to Game 1 of this series in Boston, and I think the Celtics are going to be able to pull this series out. Terry Rozier, or as they like to call him in Boston, Scary Terry, has been having quite the playoffs so far, and I think they'll be able to pull it out at home in Game 7. Greg, you have any thoughts on this series?
Nah, I think you guys all hit it on the button. What I'm really watching right now is the Toronto-Washington series, and I'm just waiting for Toronto to choke on these last 2 games, just like they have every other year in the playoffs.
Now, if that's a shot at me, it's not going to work.
Oh, it's pretty personal, not going to lie.
I could tell by the tone of your voice that it was a personal attack.
Timberwolves make the postseason the first time in 14 years. Lose the Rockets right away, 4-1, and yeah, that is. Yeah, even after the Wild lost.
Hey, well, it's okay. The Timberwolves made the postseason for the first time in quite a while.
14 years.
14 years. So you guys at least have a little bit to be proud of.
No, that was some tough basketball. They did not play well. They did not get boards. They did not shoot well. I think it was just a tough series overall.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns was not doing much in that series from what I saw.
And what about Andrew Wiggins?
Dude, he should be traded. I don't even like him on the team, man.
That's my Canadian dude. I love Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, that's probably why he's bad at basketball.
Dang. Hey, we don't need to get into that. Steve Nash. Come on, bro.
Complete different player.
Well, we can now talk about the Cavaliers-Pacers series, which is looking to be one of the best series in the postseason so far. LeBron James hit a game-winning 3. And it looked a lot like Jordan's shot back in the NBA Finals back in the day. What do you guys think about that series?
I don't think it's the best series in the NBA. It's basically the Pacers just trying to beat LeBron James and LeBron James beating the Pacers.
But you can't say it's not an exciting series after a game like that.
Well, sure, it's exciting, but it's not the best series. I mean...
King James, baby. King James.
He is the king.
Yeah, he is. He's the current greatest basketball player of all time, but I'm sure we've gotten each other's throats already about who the best one is. Yeah. But again, no, it's basically LeBron James versus all.
Yeah, I got a name for the Cavs. I like to call them the Cleveland LeBrons.
That's really what they are.
Will's right. He's not wrong.
Yeah, and I think LeBron's going to kill himself in this series, especially right now. He's going about 45 minutes plus per game.
He's getting like 40 points per game too, ain't
he? Yeah, I mean, he's doing it all. And I don't see him sustaining this. I mean, he is probably the greatest athlete in NBA history. But I don't know. I feel like he's going to run out of gas, especially for the next series.
The way I see it, I think Cleveland will for sure close out this series, whether it be in Game 6 or in Game 7. But I have them finally losing to the Raptors next round. So We'll see what happens with that.
We've seen what LeBron has done to the Raptors in the past, so I think the same thing could
Drake
happen.
cannot keep up the smack talk.
Yeah, Drake can trash talk John Wall all he wants, but LeBron James is a different animal. But moving on, we'll go look at some NHL playoff stuff. The first round of the NHL playoffs is completely finished, unlike the NBA. For round 2, we have the Capitals playing the Penguins, the Jets playing the Nashville Predators. We have the Vegas Golden Knights, who just routed the San Jose Sharks 7-0 last night. And we have the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is looking to be easily the best round of the playoffs. The first round was quite good, but there's a lot of divisional matchups in this second round. They're all divisional matchups, and these series look to be going long. Greg, first? Let's talk about the Jets and the Predators, because the Wild are out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they suck.
No, it's not because they suck.
Greg, I'm gonna have to agree with Greenberg on this one. They did not put up a good fight in the first round of the playoffs. That was some tough hockey.
And
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and find the clip of when I said it'll be a nice 5-game series for the Jets and the Wild, but we won't go there. We'll just leave it as I was right.
I mean, someone's got to have faith for their team, right?
I guess.
I have faith in Greenberg. You have faith in the Jets?
I do.
I have faith in the Bruins. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think it's sad you're from Minnesota and you like the Bruins.
Yeah, I started playing with them in Shell way back in like 6th grade, and I was like, man, I really like this team, and I just started following.
They're my
And,
favorite hockey team because I played with them on a video game.
hey, you got to start somewhere. And guess
Right.
what? They never let me down like the Wild do. Consistently.
That's just Minnesota
Consistently.
sports in general, though.
That's fair.
Yeah, how about them Twinkies? 7-game losing streak.
6-game?
No, it's 7.
Is it 7 now?
It's 7.
Yeah, after they lost to the Yankees last night. They
the
just got
Kraken hit a
spanked.
3-run
Oh, my God.
walk-off. Yeah, well. Tough sports today in Minnesota, but yeah, no, the Wild, when Zach Parise fractures his sternum and then Ryan Suter's out for the playoffs and you don't have a top goal scorer and there's no one to lead the offense and you have a bunch of rookies playing blue line, you're not going to win a playoff series.
Yeah,
That's just how it is.
When your blue line's letting up like 50 shots a game, it's just not going to happen.
Like, I'm pretty sure the Jets outshot the Wild that entire series, like probably 250 to 20.
At least.
It was just a sad performance, and then Dubnyk got pulled very last game, and because they put 4 goals, they put a 4 spot on that first period, didn't they?
Yeah, 4 in the first
I
period.
thought it was 5.
No,
Was it?
5 at
I
the
think it was-
end.
5 at the end.
4 in the first period.
Yeah, it was a disappointing effort. I mean, Boudreau had Kyle Rao playing the very last game, and he was literally just called it from the AHL like the day before, and I don't know. The Wild fired Chuck Fletcher, so I mean that's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. But again, they're missing a key offensive player. That they don't have anyone to lead the team. They're just a bunch of good guys.
I agree, and another problem with the Wild is their head coach is Bruce Boudreau, who has never made it out of the first round of the playoffs. At least what it seems like when he's with the Ducks, with the Capitals. Never could make it out the first round.
But the funny part is he had Ovi with the Capitals and did nothing.
Right, and they won the President's Trophy for a few years.
And then when he went to Anaheim,
as
they
soon as
had
you go to the
Getzlaf and Corey Perry, and still the same result. I just don't understand his playoff stuff.
He's jinxed, and he can't win in the playoffs, so that's why they need to look elsewhere for a coach.
Well, he's got 2 more years on his contract, and
Too many.
My thoughts exactly. I'm just glad Fletcher's gone, so 1 more head to roll. But yeah, moving on to the Capitals and Penguins last night. Capitals had a 2-goal lead going into the third, and the Penguins come back and score 3 and win.
Yeah, that's what Capitals hockey has been looking like against the Penguins for the past several years.
For whatever reason, they just cannot beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. I think it's the most heated rivalry in hockey right now, those two, because they meet in the playoffs every year.
Every year, and the Penguins play so well in the playoffs. I mean, Sidney Crosby, arguably, he's getting up there to be one of the best of all time. And the way he plays in the third period is second to none.
So you recently took over Mario Lemieux's stats for most points scored in Penguins postseason history. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
We can't forget that they're the 2-time defending
Stanley
Cup champions.
Pushing for a 3-peat. I don't know how they do it. But
They're not going to win a 3-peat.
No, I don't think so.
I cannot have that. I can't. I hate
I think
Pittsburgh
it'll be
Penguins.
Jets Penguins in the Cup final.
Oh, Jets.
Yikes.
The Jets are way too hot right now to be cooled down.
The Jets are too hot.
Jets
Vegas
are-
Golden Knights haven't lost a game yet, and they just routed San Jose.
They
who
did.
Swept
The Knights are very hot.
7-0.
Zachary.
They are pretty hot, but
7-0. Nothing.
bring Vegas, a first-year team, up to Winnipeg and have them play in the MTS Center in a playoff series, and they're not winning a game there.
I promise you. I'm willing to make a bet right now. If the Golden Knights and the Jets play, it's going to be in 5.
5-game
It's going to be in
series.
5.
With the winner being
Golden Knights.
Ooh, Zach.
That series is gonna go to 7. I don't know.
Maybe 6 if you're lucky. 4-1.
I guess we'll have to see. Both teams are pretty hot. The Sharks we thought were hot too. They swept my other team, the Ducks, 4-0, and they got killed by the Knights. So
Yeah, I didn't watch much of that series, but I was sitting at Crooks and I was watching the end of Game 4, and I was like, if this is what the whole series is like, that is tough. That is
Yeah.
they are having a tough time keeping.
yeah, it was tough.
control of the
I
puck.
was at Crooks that same night, sitting right across the table from you, and
That's right.
I was sitting there shaking my head at the TVs.
Just enjoying a night out on the town, boys?
You have to.
I mean, you have to in Crookston, I suppose.
Yeah, you have to.
Not wrong. But ESPN update with NHL telling Brad Marchand to stop licking players. Matt?
That's why I'm a Bruins fan. That's all I'm gonna say. That's why I'm a Bruins
It's
fan.
like weird fetishes like that?
Who do you have to tell? Well, how do you have to tell a grown man stop licking people? It's because they're having fun. It's because they're winning to the cup.
Because Brad Marchand's licking players and got told to stop, they're going to win the cup.
Yeah, he's going Rover. It's the art of distraction.
It's freaky. That's my thoughts.
Moving on to some NFL news. Dez Bryant, receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, was recently released by his team, and a lot of teams have shown interest in him, including the Baltimore Ravens, the Green Bay Packers, the Houston Texans. The Ravens actually offered him a contract, a multi-year deal, and he turned that down because he said he wanted to sign a 1-year contract and then see where his options take him. Will, I know you've got some thoughts on this.
I do.
Ooh, let's hear him, buddy.
Dez Bryant has meant so much to the Cowboys in the past few years. He's a phenomenal player. He has had a couple of down years the past couple of years, but, I mean, we can blame that on Dak as well and Jason Garrett. I can go on and on about Jason Garrett, the Cowboys front office, decision-making the past couple of years. I mean, not bringing back Dez and not having a plan set for what you're going to do when you release Dez, I just have a huge problem with that. And I don't know where they're going to go in the near future, but only time will tell.
Right. Do you think that after releasing Dez, they would have went to the draft last night and picked up a receiver like Calvin Ridley or somebody like that? But
yeah, and here I am watching the draft last night. We have DJ Moore out of Maryland, top receiver in the draft, sitting on the board still. Calvin Ridley from Alabama sitting on the board, and they take a linebacker from Boise State. I mean, we are thin at linebacker, but you just got rid of. I mean, he has had a couple of down years, but I still think he's a top 10 receiver in this league. You get rid of him, and you have 2 standout receivers sitting on the draft board, and then you're going to take a Boise State linebacker. He's a good player and all, but I just don't see what they're going to do in the future as far as receiver-wise.
now, do you have any thoughts on where you think Dez will end up for the 2018 season?
I just can't see him in a Packers uniform.
I definitely can see him in a Packers uniform.
Too bad he said he won't go to the Packers because of the history between the teams.
I mean, I would hope so. That seems like common sense to me.
Plus, they're trash anyways, so.
Nah. First of all, hold off. We are not trash. We are Titletown.
You are
USA.
nothing without Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, you're not.
I
good.
agree. We are nothing without Aaron Rodgers.
And that
but
dude
Aaron
breaks his
Rodgers is no
collar-
longer hurt.
for 5 more weeks of the season.
Nah, he's been injured 1 season in his career. For a full season, he'll be fine. He'll be back, and he'll ball at the best level in the NFL for the next 7 years.
And then you'll take a good tackle from a linebacker from Minnesota, and then he'll be like, "Oh, you hit
good
me."
tackle, as in clean tackle, because
It was
I don't know what
clean.
tackle you saw because it wasn't clean.
You're just paranoid. He's gonna break his collarbone in the same spot for like the 8th time in a row.
That's not going to happen, but we'll see.
I just think Dez needs a stable franchise to go to, and I feel like he can still put up 1,000+ yard season with about 10 touchdowns.
I could honestly see him with the Skins or the Giants, depending on Odell's situation.
See, that's another thing. He can't go to a division rival either.
He said he wants to, though.
I know.
He wants to play the Cowboys twice next year.
I really don't want to see that.
Because the Giants and the
And
Eagles don't have the cap space. I think the Redskins do.
And the way
But
the
I don't see
Cowboys-
old man Alex Smith tucking the ball down the field to him, though. That's the one thing I don't see.
Me either, but the way the Cowboys DBs are looking, he might have a field day on them too. So
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's necessarily going to put up the numbers that he used to be able to put up. But I think that if he has the Cowboys at any point during the season next year, he's going to go off on them.
yeah, I just feel like if he plays for anybody other than Jason Garrett, he'll have the season that we all think he could have.
So you're putting his downfall kind of on Garrett?
Yeah, I think their relationship, they've been feuding the past couple years, and I don't think they ever really, I wouldn't say they got along, but it just wasn't a strong relationship.
And, of course, Jerry took his boy Jason's side.
Jerry owns Jason, and he owns that whole franchise, and he makes all the decisions.
He's like the LeBron James for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, and it's pretty clear.
He's like the Jackie Moon from Semi-Pro,
I like that.
minus the on-field performance. But
Moving on to some local sports updates. UMC softball had some games on Wednesday, and they're going to have some this weekend. Cassidy, tell us a little more.
Just that softball program is slowly making some strides to become better. Victoria Bayless hit her first ever home run.
As a senior, too.
Yeah, only took her 16 years of playing, but she finally did it. And then we have, like Zach said, our last home series this weekend with senior day being on Saturday. So come out and support.
And you're a senior, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you're going to get a nice little plaque?
Let's hope so.
How many seniors do you guys have?
6.
And then some baseball updates. Matt, you can update us on baseball.
Well, we have this weekend against Southwest, and we actually scheduled 2 more games against non-conference games against Bemidji next Thursday, and then we go to Duluth next Saturday, Sunday, and should be some highly competing games, and hopefully we can get a couple wins in the season.
Who's looking good on the UMC baseball team this year?
Greg, you want to touch on that first?
that's all you.
All right. I mean, James has had a notable season. He's been hitting pretty well as of late. And obviously Reed Jelly being the NSIC Player of the Week twice.
Yeah, what was he batting this week? 617 or something
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah, he's like somewhere around the 600, and he's up around 450 for the season. With I think he's at 8 home runs now. Just absolutely hitting the crap out of the ball. And obviously Anthony Stewart, fast as lightning. He actually had his first error, which we're working on getting turned over.
First career error?
First career error at UMC.
Wow.
Because last year he had a gold glove with no errors, and he was looking to get another one this year, but they marked it as an error. But it technically, by definition, was not an error. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Hopefully that gets taken off.
yeah, hopefully get another gold glove. That'd be sweet.
So as arguably one of the best defensive players in the country, I would say, for Division II, do you think there's a chance for either him or Jelly to get any majors looks, either from AA, AAA teams?
Oh, absolutely. With Anthony being I don't know if Byron Buxton runs a 6'4", and I've witnessed Anthony run a 6'3'9". Like I've seen him run like a 6'3'5" even at times. Coach clocked him at a 6'3" and made him rerun it because that's like the fastest he's ever seen. So he definitely is going to have some chances. And if he doesn't get drafted, he'll get picked up by an independent ball team for sure. And then obviously Zach Seipel getting quite a few professional looks and is definitely probably going to end up getting drafted this year, which is a very high feat for, I think, Cookson baseball.
Yeah, for UMC as a school in general, I think that's quite the accomplishment.
It's awesome. He's going to do great things.
So UMC football wrapped up spring ball a couple of days ago. We have Will here. So, Will, do you want to touch on the conclusion of UMC spring ball?
Sure. We've been kind of compacted in the gym because of weather issues lately, well, for basically most of spring ball. But I think we took advantage of what we could have in that time in the gym. And we had a few scrimmages / practices at UND's indoor facility. And I think we looked good. We made some strides on the field. Character-wise, we got rid of a few people.
Bad influences.
Yeah, bad influences.
Good thing you guys are teammates. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. But I think we're moving a step in the right direction. We just got to keep moving forward. Got to have a strong summer, everyone, and we'll come back in fall ready.
So do you guys like your outlook for next year, or what do you think?
Yeah, I do. I feel like we got some talent on this team. We just got to come together and put it all together on the field and have a great offseason.
So, Will, how did you feel about at the conclusion of the spring game when the referees came over to talk to us and told the defense they had to work on their tackling?
Yeah, that was pretty disrespectful. Me being on the defense, playing safety and all, I didn't appreciate that comment, but he is right. That is something we do have to improve on.
Matt, you have any thoughts on UMC football?
I see you guys working hard in the weight room all the time, and I do see you guys getting rid of some negative influences and making some serious strides. And I have a question: over or under 2 wins next year?
Over. I'm not going for that.
Yeah, this me and Will's senior year. We got to win more than 2 for sure.
Yeah, I can't go out like that. It's my last year. I can't.
The way our the offense is looking a lot better than it has in recent years. A lot more put together. We have a good core at running back. So I can for sure see us winning a few games, but the one that Will and I for sure have marked on the calendar is Week 11, the final week of the season at home versus Mary. That's a very winnable game, and that's our senior game, so that's the one we want to go out with on top.
Yeah, we definitely want to get that one, and it's a few more on there, but we're going to play all 11 games hard to the best of our abilities, and we're going to see.
We'll see what happens.
Being around the topic of football here, I just wanted to ask Will, what's your thoughts about your boy Josh Rosen saying there's 9 mistakes drafted ahead of him?
Hey, congrats to my guy Josh. We graduated in the same class. I think he landed in a great spot in Arizona. I'm glad he slipped down. I know he felt a little disrespected having all those QBs taken ahead of him, but he's going to do big things on the next level, I feel like.
Did you send him like a congrats text at all?
No, I need to, but yeah, I should do that. But he's going to do great things in Arizona. I feel like that was the best situation for him.
Yeah, Rosen had an interview earlier in the week, and he was talking about how he's been kind of like underrated his whole life and feels like he's been passed on in favor of other people. And he said that the NFL is going to be no different, that anybody who's picked before him will come and go and he'll still be standing. So was he like that in high school as well?
Yeah, he definitely played with a chip on the shoulder in high school too. We had a great team in high school, but he wasn't even the number 1 QB in the nation. I think it was a guy named Ricky Towns. He ended up going to Alabama, faded off the radar, and now he's the 4th QB taken. And I think he's gonna play with a chip on his shoulder and prove that was the wrong idea.
Speaking of quarterbacks, what is your guys' as the UMC football team's quarterback situation?
My guy Jeremy Newman, I think he's gonna take over, and I think he's gonna play great. He had a good spring. He's gonna have a great offseason.
Jeremy Newman, who's been a member of our group and personality on this podcast, he couldn't be with us today as he had to do some work in the library. But Jeremy was looking good in the spring. So was Reyes. It'll be a good battle come fall, and but we'll see who pulls it out. Back to some more draft thoughts.
I'm going to interject here on this one.
Go ahead.
Baker Mayfield going number 1 overall. Good or bad? Why? Will?
I love Baker, and he's a great football player, but we all know where QBs go. When QBs go
where
to Cleveland.
QBs go to die.
Yeah. And
that'd be the land, right?
That is the Cleveland Browns. And I hope that turns around for him, but I don't see it happen. I feel like something's going to go bad, and it's just going to not be a good idea for him. A situation for him.
Matt, you look like you're amped up about this. What's your thoughts?
I'm stoked. I think barring injury, as long as he stays healthy, I think that he could turn the organization around. I think he's going to be everything that Johnny Manziel wasn't. And I love how cocky but yet still reserved and calm he is. See, Johnny Manziel was still kind of pretty flashy in college and was all about it, but Baker Mayfield was to a point. And he kept it under control, and he made sure that people knew that he was dominant.
A big partier like Johnny Manziel was. He doesn't have as much off-field distractions. And playing in Cleveland, I think, will be good for him, as he won't be able to, I guess, have as many distractions as he would in a city like L.A. or in a city like New York.
Oh, absolutely. And I think like you hit it right on the head. He doesn't have any off-the-field issues. And I think that going into the NFL, going into Cleveland, he's not going to have that off-the-field issue if he doesn't already have it coming in. But Browns, Super Bowl, 3 years.
3 years you give
Calling
him?
it.
Wow. I'd love to make a bet with you on that. one.
Yeah, we can make our second bet of the day after that. I don't know about
I'd put my hat
Browns
down
in
on
3.
anything that not happening. But
Stephen A. Smith projection. I'm telling you.
if you could have a conversation with him about that and he doesn't call you crazy, I mean, you might come out on top on that one.
Moving on to some college basketball, the Commission on College Basketball recommended an end to the one-and-done rule, and there would be potential lifetime bans for rule breakers and changes to the relationship between the NCAA and apparel companies. You guys have any thoughts on the one-and-done rule in college basketball and where this rule you see this rule maybe going?
We watched Marvin Bagley play this year, and I think we can all come to a conclusion that he didn't belong in the NCAA this year. He should have been in the league playing with the greatest in the world, because I feel like that's where he belonged.
You think he would have started on an NBA team this year?
If he would have went, where would he have went if he was a number 1 or 2 pick? I feel like he would have started and played a huge role on that team. I feel like he was ready from as soon as he graduated early from Sierra Canyon.
Yeah. And you got Zion Williamson coming through. He's about to go to Duke, and it doesn't seem like he really needs the NCAA either.
Nah, definitely. I think we're going to, in the near future, very near future, that's going to be done. And I think players are going to start going straight from high school to at least the G League.
Well, I personally did a feasibility report on this rule, and I proposed to the NBA to make a 2 or none rule, and a lot of other people are talking about a 2 or none rule where players would have to go to, if they declared that they wanted to go to college and sign with the team, they would have to attend college for at least 2 years, or they could go 1 year in college, 1 year elsewhere before being eligible for the NBA draft, or they could elect to go right out of high school and not choose to go the college route at all. So that would be my proposal for the league, and we'll see what happens in the future. I see this being changed at some point. It's just a matter of what it gets changed to.
So this is a wrap for Season 1 of Calling an Audible. We will be back in the fall, Zach and I, and we will look to have a bunch of special guests.
Many more
here.
guests to come, but we will have to take a break for summer. So
yeah, to regroup our thoughts and to wait for more
sports stories to come out.
Yeah, see what how the summer goes for most NFL teams, and we can start off with projections for how we think Baker Mayfield and the Land's going to do.
PG to LA.
And with the NBA huge offseason coming up, maybe Kawhi Leonard will leave.
We'll have a lot to talk about with baseball come August.
Yep.
As well.
Because that'll be farther along the season, so it'll be nearing postseason play.
And we're able to highlight previews for UMC football, UMC volleyball, and UMC soccer.
So, yep, we look to continue building this podcast, and we hope to get some more support, and we cannot wait for the next season. So, signing off for Zach, Will, Matt, Cassidy, and I, and Jeremy, who is not present with us right now, I'm Greg Johnson, and we're going to see you guys next season.
Calling an Audible is made possible through the assistance of the University of Minnesota Crookston Media Services Department and executive producer James Pagachnik. The views expressed on Calling an Audible are not necessarily the views of the University of Minnesota Crookston or its affiliates.